Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. This will be part 5 of our Enterprise Refit paint mask video. Tonight we're going to be doing the port side of the neck. I've already gone through and done the starboard side. Most of it I still have a little strip down at the very bottom between the neck and the torpedo bay, to where it's that little strip down there at the bottom, but I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get there. Sorry again, I want to apologize guys for this, for me not doing a video sooner. I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago when diagnosed with vertigo, and I've been slowly having to get back into things because this stuff will take a toll on you anytime that you bend over or stand back up, and some of you out there may know about it. But it affected me really bad, and thank goodness I'm mostly over it, but still having a little bit of issues. I'm slowly getting back into the swing of things, so we'll take you down to the bench here in just a second and show you what what's going on. I'm going to show you first, but when we swing down over there, I'm going to show you a new project that we're going to start after the series has ended here on the channel. Kind of switch up gears a little bit. We're going to be starting a new project, kind of get away from the Trek verse a little while, just kind of take a break to switch things up. So but I'll show you what that's about here in just a second. But I want to say thanks to all the subscribers out there. We're at 290 now, and guys, I just want to say thanks for coming. I'm happy to be able to help anybody that needs it. I started this channel a long time ago to help people, not only because I love building, I love helping others, and if I can pass along any knowledge that I can to newcomers or some of the ones that are coming back after a long hiatus, that's much appreciated. Guys, and I appreciate that. We're just a little over 12,000 views, and that's just phenomenal, guys. I appreciate it. As far as now, I want to make mention too, as far as the contest that we're doing, I'm going to postpone this until next year, simply for the fact of the COVID-19 pandemic and everybody being on short funds and everything else like that. So I think I'm going to postpone it until next year, next January, and then keep on working, guys. Or if you want to set them aside, no big deal. We will continue and pick up this this contest next January, and that way we can get everybody off to a good start, and make sure that everybody's recovered if they've been sick, or recover from this. So, because I know it's taking a toll on just about everybody. So, but anyway, let me swing you down to the bench. We'll show you what we're working on, and we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, welcome back to the bench. Now, this is what I was showing you. This is what we're going to be switching to after we get through with the Enterprise Refit here, which hopefully won't take much longer on it. Once I get through with the secondary hull, it'll start progressing a little bit faster, to where the nacelles, I won't take you through on both nacelles. I'll just take you through on one, because what you do on one, you'll do to the other. And then pretty much the saucer section is pretty much a one and done thing. When you get you lay all the masking down, you spray it all your one color, and we'll go through and I'll show you how to do that, and go through all that step by step. So we're not going to be much longer on that, guys, until that's going to be through. So, but then this will be our next project here on the channel. This is the by Italeri. This is the 1/48 scale V22 Osprey, and I've already gone through and started doing some of the prep work on it. I'm probably won't go through a step-by-step build, but I've already gone through and done some of the prep work. I've gone through and cleaned it all, and gotten the it's sanded and cleaned up, all the flash taken. I see a little bit more that I got to do right here, but pretty much it's ready to go. I already put my adhesion promoter on there, let that set for a day, and then I'm going to be going through with the craft acrylic paints and you know, mixing that up and going through there. And guys, I really like that Anita's craft acrylic paint, guys. It's stuff's really good stuff. So, but anyway, we're going to go through a complete build series on this. Not a detailed, but a good complete build on this, and go from there. I've been wanting to build this now for a while, and you know, and it's one of my favorite airplanes, you know, amongst many. But just kind of doing this to kind of switch things up here from the channel. So so anyway, let me show you. Let me get this put up, and let me get my the refit out. Hang on. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone through and completely done pretty much everything here. Like I said, there's a little strip of painting that I got to do down here, but I've got to go back through and find some yellow that I need. I'm gonna go find some of that Anita's, and I'll tell you guys, this stuff is made by Rust-Oleum, and it's a good brand, and it works really well. That's what I used here. You know, I mixed it up a little bit, and that's what I'll be using here, and then on the on the Strombacks and everything else too. So this is stuff a really good paint. But what I've done is I went through off camera as I was recovering, and trying to figure out how this stuff works and whatnot, and so that's what I did is I was tinkering around with this, got the mask laid down, and I will tell you guys, there is no replacement masks for the neck, so you're gonna have to save these individual pieces here for when you do your blue. You'll put them back on and then save them. You're gonna have to mark them like we've been doing on everything else. So, but let me tighten up on the frame here just a little bit and see to see if you can see what it looks like, and you can see the really pretty the colors on this. And this is a very simple pattern, guys. It's not too difficult, not like some of the other competitors masking out there. They have very well, this is a very well made pattern here. Not a whole lot of small pieces. There's a couple of small pieces in there, but nothing too hard not to handle. So did the same thing here. You're going to have to peel these off, save them. I would not recommend putting them on wax paper, because wax paper will cause the adhesion on the backing of the masking to come off, and you'll start losing them as you spray. And since you have to do this, I'd recommend each time you do a color, I would recommend turning your air pressure down just a little bit each time. That way you don't have a risk of blowing their mask off and getting overspray on something else, or getting the colors interchanged. But on this is what I did is I did this first, and then I taped off these areas that I've already that had the iridescent paint, and then I just used the and this is the Testors acrylic paint, the same paint that I used on the pylons. So what I did is you spray your it calls for the light gray. So what I did is I sprayed the light gray, and the three that we're using is the dark gray, the light gray, and the medium gray for all this. And it's very straightforward and simple, and we'll go through that just a little bit later once we get through all this done, because this is going to be kind of a lengthy video, guys. I'll try to make it as fast as possible. But so you go through and pretty much spray your light gray down on all this, then you put your masks on, and then you spray off the dark gray area, and then you peel off, you tape those up pretty good, and then you peel off these little individual masks here. And I would recommend, like Gary mentions in the videos, in his YouTube videos to pull off these little greebly masking hole, you know, the little ones, so that way when you get it on here you don't gouge the paint. So you know, pretty much you spray your first coat, put the masking down, spray your second coat, you know, tape it off, and then you know, peel the final coat, which is your medium gray, and then you spray it. And the same thing in here with, you know, with this is you put the masking down, peel them off, and then you have your little white, your little boxes in here. Then you spray your light gray. Then after that, you put your second coat of masking on and spray the individual areas in between, and then you peel these off and you spray your dark gray, and that's it. So, but we'll go through all that here in just a minute, guys. So let me get set up and repositioned here. Now, what I've done is I've already gone through, and earlier tonight while I was getting everything set up, I had to wait for my laundry to finish drying so y'all could hear me. I went on ahead and prepped my neck and got everything taped off and ready to go. So let me get resituated, get my airbrush turned on, and my paint shaking up a little bit more, and we will be right back, guys, and we'll get started. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, well, here we are back at the bench now, and I've gone through, and earlier today I went through and started prepping my masks. What I did is I went through and started marking my colors. We're going to do, you know, 1 dot for the blue, 2 dots for the gold, 3 dots for the green, and then just kind of like a little squiggly line for the red. So I already have my transfer tape on here. So what we're going to do now is peel off. We're going to start with the front half of the neck towards the front of the ship, and I'll show you how to put that on, and then we'll get started with everything else. So what I'm going to do is, you know, peel off the mask, you know, the backing. And guys, I want to tell you, make sure you save the backing for this. That's what I do to save my, you know, when I peel off my masks, I use the backing here to lay it down on. That way I can pick it up and reuse it. So, all right, so there's that. So let me get the model back into place, and let me tighten up on the shot here so you can see. Let me move the camera. Like I said, we're going to be starting in on this area, and as Gary suggests, to start off in this corner and line it up this way and then go out that way. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure that you get it in position before you get it put on, because once this stuff is set down, it's hard to get back off. And we're going to stay just inside of that blue tape line. Pull it off and move it up just a little bit. Alright, and after you got it laid down in position, you can just take it and rub it down real good, and then we'll take our tweezers and pull the transfer tape off. I think I might have cut the transfer tape just a little too close, but we'll get it. One thing I like about this transfer tape, it doesn't really pull the masking off with it if you're careful. Some spots you probably will. It'll try to come up with it, but if you just pull it off nice and gently and kind of at an angle, you'll be okay. So, alright, there's that one. And let me grab my back half here, and we'll move you into shot just a little bit better. Always make sure that your backing is pulled down real good, you know, with your transfer tape on it, and make sure that way you can get your masks stuck to the tape and not the backing. So again, we're going to start right here in this corner and work up and then lay it down to the back. So alright, got it just about in place where we want it. So now we can smooth it down real well. And it's always nice to have like a toothpick or something to kind of help lay down the masks in the corners. That way, because your fingers and stuff might not reach into these corners. That way it pushes that masks down into the corner very well. So, all right. So now we're gonna peel up on our transfer tape. Alright, now that's on. Now what we're going to do is, now that that's on, I'm going to go ahead and lay down my torpedo bay areas. And so I've already got this, this pretty much on. And I got my backing on here, my transfer tape. And we're not going to worry about this right now because this is for the down below this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off my areas for that, set them aside, and then we're going to cut these. We're going to start off in the top side. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this. You want to cut this as close as you can, so you can get it to where you can get it on there and touching pretty easily. On the other side, it's not so bad, but cut the front of this off. That way we have a good solid piece. And now I'm going to do is peel my backing off. Well, I'm having a little bit of difficulty here, guys. Dropped my masking and it dropped down onto a card. When something like that happens, just take your time and work it off. Alright, we got it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it up here. And yeah, you're going to have a little issue if you use the plastic glass up on the neck right here for this. So what I'll do is, once I get the transfer tape off, I'll take that little section off and work it from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this little corner here. There's a little ridge right here, so you want to apply this side of the mask right up to the edge of that ridge, and then start here and work your way back. So if you're like me, your fingers are fat, have to have something to help. Use your tweezers. Alright. Seems like they're going down okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is use the card that Gary gives you to as the squeegee tool and kind of squeegee these down, since it's kind of a smaller area. And the masks will lay down better once once you peel the transfer tape off. So, and just pull it right off. And we're going to pretty much do all this in one shot. That way there's no issues with it. We can just paint it all at once and be done with it. So I'm going to go through and cut off our excess. Sorry, not excess, excess. Tricky language, American language is. Tell you what. Alright, now on this one we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start off in this corner, up along this edge, and then work our way to the back. So let me get my tape peeled off here. Remember, when you're peeling the backing off, just kind of peel it off easy and gentle. Don't rip it, because it will pull stuff off with it. Alright, let me get you up into a better shot. Get my down pretty well. Like I said, you'll use our toothpick to kind of set the rest of it in place on the edges and smooth it down. Now we can pull our transfer tape off and we'll be ready to go. What I'm going to do before we get started on that, I'm going to go off camera and mark our colors, and we'll come back and we'll get started on the painting. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back. Okay, guys. Well, here we are back. Now we have our. I went through now and marked all of our masking that we're going to be, painting. And so we're going to start off. We're going to start off with the blue, and I've already got it aired up, loaded up into my gun. So now what I'm going to do is go through and pull off the blue mask, which is the 1 dot, and we're going to start painting that. So here we go. Like I said, guys, there is no replacement masks to go down on this. So when you do work on this, please make sure you keep your masking and try to save them as much as possible. Now you might be able to get save some of them, but try to save as many of them as you can possibly save. And I will say that some of these smaller masks are not cut all the way through, so you're going to have to work your way through these and peel them off as gently as possible. What I'm doing is I'm using my backing that this mask came on, and that way it may be a little bit out of shape a little bit, but it'll still work and it will still go back down there. So I'm gonna pull this one off. Alright, take my knife just a little bit and pull pull this off. Ooh, got a Charlie horse. Hang on. Sometimes that happens. And if by some reason you pull off another mask, don't panic with it. It'll go back down. Just be very gentle, because these things do rip, and I'd hate to see everybody's masks ruined. So you got to be very gentle when trying to save these masks. And like I said, some of these masks are not cut all the way through, so you have to kind of be gentle with them and pull them apart. Alright, now we're through with that side. Now we can go to the next side, and we have a big one here, so we can take off. And keeping in mind to be very gentle when you're peeling these masks off. You know, when you're trying to get in there with your tweezers or whatnot to not gouge your paint. Alright, we have another one right here. Now some of these will be pretty much easier to get to because they're down below that line. So, but you have to be very careful when getting them. I suggest using your the hobby knife or something other than tweezers. That way you don't hurt the masks. You need to be very gentle with them. Alright, I think that's it for the blue on this. Yeah, so now we're going to take our other backing and put our torpedo bay masking on it. Now we can try to handle all this at once. Hopefully everybody can see okay. We have a big one right back here on the top. Alright, now we're going to go down to the bottom, and we're going to put the sides of the torpedo bay on this one, but down in here. And remember, try to keep your masking as close to as in line as possible. That way you don't get confused on where they went. And you end up losing your spot. You can't find it, then that would be kind of a bad thing. And it's always good to have 2 pair of tweezers with you as well. That way you can pull off some of these masks, and I'm going to have to pull that one off by itself. There we go. Slide that back in place. And it seems I lost it. I lost my mask, so stuff like that can happen. Oh, there it is. Found it on my hand, guys. It's been a long day. Alright, so we'll go to our next blue one. And I won't go through all the masks, pull them off and all that, because it's, pretty much explanatory with everything. So we'll do the first coat, and then I'll go back through and I'll show the spraying of each color, but won't show the pulling each mask off and putting it back on and all that. I don't want to bore y'all too bad. And don't worry about it. You are going to end up gouging a little bit of the masking just to kind of make it, you know, you're going to have to grab it. So, you know, don't worry about it if it rumples a little bit, but, you know, you have a, you know, make sure you take good aim and spray straight on. Don't, don't spray at angles. That's always been a kind of a big no-no. And it might be also a good thing to go through and kind of pre-cut, you know, go through some of these small lines. Like I said, some of these are not cut all the way through, but not to panic. You can, you know, they'll come off. Like I had that one rip on me there, but I was able to save it. So alright, so there we have it. Now we're going to spray on our first coat. I have the blue loaded up in our gun. We'll do a test spray. Turn my... Alright, there we go. So here we go. Just keep in and checking on the... Always check your mask to make sure you're getting a good amount down. So just a little more right there. Alright, that looks good. So what I'm going to do now is, as usual, go through, let this dry for a minute, clean out my airbrush, switch colors, and put the masking, get back ready for the next color. So we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Okay guys, well we're back now. I have the blues put back on, and I have I've taken off my second color, which will be our gold, and I have my gold loaded up in the gun. So let's give it a test spray, and here we go. Making sure we keep check on our masking to make sure that we, you know, get a good even spray. Okay, looks like we've got it. So what I'm going to do now is use our hair dryer to give it a quick dry. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is go off camera, reset my color, get ready for the next coat. So we'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, welcome back now. Just for the sake of time, I went on ahead and did the other two colors off camera. Pretty much the same aspect as the blue and the gold. You know, you just peel them off gently, put your coat on there, and then use your hair dryer to you know, dry the, give it a force heat, you know, force dry, and then let it set and clean out your airbrush and come back. So it's pretty much you know, self-explanatory for the other two colors, but for the sake of time, I went on ahead and did these off you know, the green and the red off camera, simply because we have so much to cover with the rest of the neck. I didn't want to take up everybody's time, so But what I'm going to do now is, you know, you can see how pretty the blues and the gold and the green and the reds turned out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this set probably for a couple hours, maybe overnight, and then come back and first thing in the morning and do the rest of it. That way it'll be cured and set up and ready to go, so we can do the rest of it. So we'll be back shortly, guys. Probably in a couple hours, maybe even in the morning for me. So it'll be, you know, overnight for me, but it'll only be a split second for you guys. So, but anyway, till then, guys, take care, and we'll be right back shortly. So we'll see you then. Okay, guys, welcome back. Now, overnight, I decided to go ahead and let this sit overnight. And I had forgotten I'd already done this little piece of the neck here, but it is very, very simple order here. I mean, basically what you do is the first mask here, I'll tighten up on it. I don't know if you can see, I don't know if my camera will let me focus any more than that. But there's little white boxes all over this area right here. So basically what you do is you put this piece of masking down, and then, you know, you rub it in very good. And I would suggest using your transfer tape on this, because of there's lines in between here. So what you do is you put this masking down, and then you slowly peel it back off. And what it does is it leaves these little white boxes around, and these divider lines on the ship. And you basically spray your light coat of light gray, and then let that dry, and then you go back through and put down the second set of masking, which I would recommend, guys, on these. Pulling these little boxes off before you put it on the ship. That way you don't scuff up your paint. And then you lay that down, and then you take your dark gray and then spray over top of, you know, you spray your little boxes there, and then slowly peel it off, and then you have your two colors here. So what I'm going to do now is this area, and I forgot to put a piece of tape down right here, and this is why I like using saving little pieces of saving my extra masks that doesn't really get used. It's the extra that comes on the ship that doesn't have that doesn't have anything on it. Saving that extra right there will help with masking stuff off. And this has a better ridge line. You'll get a better clean line out of it than you would with regular masking tape in some cases, and not all, but in some. Now I will not be doing this little rib down here on the bottom on camera. I'll do that off camera and give you an update on it. But I will do it, and then I'll send you, I'll post pictures of it, or I may do an update video on it here the next couple of days of a final, with everything done on it. So, alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my light gray and get it loaded into my gun here. Sometimes you gotta take I mean, you don't need a whole bunch down in there, just enough to cover that. Let me wipe off the excess here. Alright, so I'll do a test shot. probably turn my... There we go. Now we're just going to spray. I did see one other spot here, but what I'm going to do is hold that up, this card up right here, so you don't have to worry about putting any more tape up here. And then just give your, just light, and then let it dry for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch out my colors, clean up my airbrush. I'm going to let that sit up for just a few seconds longer, and then we'll come right back and show you the second and third step, so stay tuned. Okay guys, now what I've done is I've gotten my airbrush cleaned out, and after I've gotten this first coat down, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have my edges pushed down pretty good, because the next coat is going to be the dark gray that goes around the edges here. So what I'm going to do now is I've peeled off, I've got my masking ready. I need to get my tweezers and pull the backing off. And something I forgot to do was peel those little boxes off, but that's okay, we can take care of that. So what I'm going to do now is make sure that I'm pretty well centered in the middle here with the what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on so I don't get my masking all foiled up. I'm going to take and cut this little piece of masking off right here, or this transfer tape, and then I'm going to take it and spray my dark gray over the top of this. That way there is no we don't foil up our masking. We can't see anything. So, oh nope, I can't, because I got to take that centerpiece off, so bear with me here guys. Alright, we have sometimes these masks don't want to cooperate with you. There we go. Alright, turn my pressure down on my pump just a little bit, and we'll load up our gray, dark gray. Clean up my bottle. Here, sometimes guys, it's important that you clean up your paint bottles after you pour some, because it's gonna, especially with the testers bottles, that you're gonna get when you pour, you're gonna get stuff coming out on the side, and it can really cause your lids to lock up on you, and there's been times where I can't get the lids off and the bottle busted on me. So alright, so now we're going to spray this. Now I'm going to spray this straight on because of the fact that if I don't, paint's going to bleed up underneath. So here we go. We're just going to spray just like that. Now we got one coat. We're going to dry it for a second. And once you know it starts getting dry, you'll start seeing evaporating on your masking and on your ship too. So that's a good way to tell when you're getting it dry. So we're going to put another coat. All right. And you might get a little bit of a paint bleed underneath there, but don't worry, it's not going to hurt anything. You can take an alcohol wipe and clean it off, and it won't hurt. It won't hurt anything. Right now I'm out of alcohol wipes, so hopefully I don't get any paint bleed, but if I do, I'll go back and fix that up. Alright, now that that's dry, I'm going to pause the camera, clean out my airbrush, peel off the rest of these little boxes here, and get ready for our final coat. So we'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, here we are back now on their final coat. I went through now and changed out my air gun, changed out my color in the air gun, and I peeled off these boxes here on the inside. I'm going to make sure I have all of them. Oh, there's two I didn't see down there at the very bottom. Give me just 1 second, guys, and you can easily grab these with your tweezers. Just kind of do it at a diagonal, and they will more than likely come just right off like that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but right down here there's another box. So I'm going to do is just kind of grab this, putting just a little bit of pressure on there, and just kind of squeeze till you basically pinch it, and it comes right off. So alright, so now we have ready for our final coat. Let me give this a test, and we're just going to lightly go across it until we get a good coat on there. And what I'll do, because this acrylic stuff is really light and it runs, so you don't want to put a heavy coat on there at first, or else you'll get paint bleed. So it's always best to do it in light coats if you can, and that way it doesn't bleed under your paint. And once we get this dry, we can slowly go back through there and pull off our masking. And show you the finished product. Now, like I said, guys, more than likely you're going to have a little bit of paint bleed around some of these edges, so don't panic. Like I said, if you use acrylic, you can use rubbing alcohol to take them off with, but remove it. But always make sure that your paint is thoroughly dry on there. Make sure your paint's thoroughly dry before you take anything off, and always make sure you push really good around the edges of your paint to get it sealed, your masking to get it sealed in there. So you can see we have just a little bit of a light, a small bleed there and a few little pieces there, but as you can see right there, let me see if I can't. I don't know if my camera is going to allow me to zoom in enough or not without going blurry, but you can see right there, you can see we have the finished product. And it was just a very few simple steps to do this, guys. And so I'm hoping this helps y'all. If y'all have any questions, I'll put my email address up at the end, along with Gary's. And that way, if you have any questions, you can email him or me. Or if you're on Facebook, you can send me a message through Messenger with with any questions on this, and I'll be glad to help, or Gary will be too. So But on the next update, guys, we'll have I'll have the secondary hull pretty much all done. I don't know if I'll be going through and doing the Strombacks on camera. I'll probably do one, but I probably won't be doing everything, like the deflector housing and the all the Strombacks. I don't know yet. We'll see. And then we'll have the, I'll have the finished product of the neck done by the next time you see a video. So. But anyway, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video, part 5. And for part 6, you'll see probably one of the Strombacks. And then once we get that done, we can gloss coat, coat this thing real good. And then we can put we'll have our decals on after part 6. And then we'll be ready for the saucer, and then we'll move on to the nacelles. So until then, guys, take care, stay safe out there, and happy modeling, everybody.